Welcome back. If you're a fan of coin collecting or just curious about the true value of your change, you're in for a treat today. In this video, we'll be diving into one of the most iconic U.S. coin series, the Monticello Jefferson nickels. We'll explore the top 5 most valuable Jefferson nickels, discussing different mint marks, varying conditions, and how they're fetching big value in today's market. So let's go started. First up, we're talking about a modern gem you might have in your pocket. Change the 2012 D Monticello Jefferson nickel. Could this simple 5-cent coin be worth big bucks? Stay tuned as we dive into its history, features, grading, and most importantly, its current market value. Let's get started. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a detailed depiction of his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. But today, we're focusing on the 2012 D version minted in Denver. Though it's a fairly recent coin, some of these nickels have become quite valuable due to their condition, errors, and demand from collectors. The left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, as designed by Felix Schlag, the word Liberty in script along with the year 2012 below it. The Denver D Mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The beautiful Monticello building, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, at the top. The words Monticello, 5 cents, United States of America. These design elements have remained mostly unchanged since 1938, except for minor modifications in 200, 4, 2, 0, 0, 5 during the Westward Journey nickel series. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. The 2012 D Jefferson nickel can range from circulated to mint state grades. Today, we're discussing coins in very fine condition. Now, let's talk about the money. A 2012 D Jefferson nickel in very fine condition is generally worth $600,000, which is slightly above face value. However, if you find a high-grade, uncirculated version, especially in MS65 or higher, its value jumps to $800,000. If the coin is part of a special collection or has unique features that stand out, the price could be higher, especially if you're selling to a collector or at an auction. The key is the condition of the coin. A coin with a higher grade, such as extremely fine or uncirculated, could be worth even more. So why should you care about this specific coin? Well, coin collecting is not only about rare or ancient pieces, it's about understanding the history and value of even relatively recent coins, like this 2012 Jefferson nickel. The more you know about these coins, the better equipped you'll be to spot valuable ones hiding in your change or even in rolls from the bank. Now, if you're a budding collector or just interested in making sure you're not overlooking a valuable nickel, here are a few tips. First, always examine your coins under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass to check for wear on the details and make sure the mint mark is visible. If you think you found a coin in very fine condition, get it graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or Professional Coin Grading Service for an accurate value. To sum it up, while the 2012 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark is a super rare coin, its value can certainly increase if it's in very fine condition. If you've got one of these coins, especially in great shape, it's worth taking a closer look and considering its potential market value. And as always, the world of coins is full of surprises, so who knows? You might just stumble across a hidden treasure. Next up, we're diving deep into the 1999 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark, and we'll be looking at its value in today's market. If you've got one of these in your collection, you might be sitting on a valuable piece of U.S. history. Let's explore this fascinating coin and see if it could be worth more than you think. But before we get into the details, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our future coin breakdowns, reviews, and tips for collectors. Alright, let's start with a quick refresher on the Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938 and has had several designs over the years. However, we're focusing on the 1999 version today. This nickel is part of the regular circulation series, which features Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States, on the obverse side, with Monticello, his famous Virginia estate, on the reverse side. The 1999 nickel comes from the U.S. Mint's regular circulation coinage, and the P Mint mark means that it was struck in the Philadelphia Mint. Now, the real question is, what makes the 1999p Jefferson nickel stand out? Well, in terms of design, the 1999 nickel is a standard version of the coin with no major changes or commemorative features. However, like many coins, the value can vary depending on factors like condition, mintage, and demand from collectors. For this particular coin, the 1999p nickel was minted in significant numbers, with over 1 billion coins being struck that year, meaning it's relatively common in terms of its mintage. However, the P mint mark is notable because after 1942, the P mint mark wasn't used until 1979. So it's always interesting to see coins from Philadelphia with this mint mark in more recent years. Now, let's talk about the market value of the 1999p Jefferson nickel. In fine condition, the 1999p nickel is worth about $500,000, which is its face value or just slightly above it due to its general availability. However, when we talk about coins in higher grades, such as MS65 or better, the price can increase substantially. If you happen to come across a 1999p nickel in gem quality or uncirculated condition, which would mean it's free from any major scratches or discoloration, it could fetch anywhere from $700,000 depending on its grade. It's not a huge fortune, but it's still a nice bump from face value. For those rare collectors, if your coin is in pristine condition, even a small increase in grade can lead to a significantly higher market value. The rarest of these coins in MS67 or higher could see prices pushing toward $100,000 in the right market, but again, that's not typical for every coin in circulation. One thing to remember is that collectors are often looking for coins with specific characteristics, such as full steps on Monticello, which means the reverse side of the coin has clear and defined lines on the steps of the building. If your coin is in top-tier condition with these kinds of details intact, it can command a premium price. Now, let's talk about demand. The Jefferson nickel as a series has always been popular with collectors because of its rich history and the beautiful design featuring Monticello. The 1999p nickel is no exception, even if it's one of the rarest in the series. In recent years, there's been a resurgence in interest in 20th century US coins, especially those with historical significance, and the 1999 nickel is often included in those collections. So if you have a 1999p Jefferson nickel in fine or higher grade condition, it might be worth taking it to a local coin dealer or having it professionally graded to get an idea of its current market value. For a fine condition coin, you'll notice some wear on the design, but the coin still maintains its overall structure. Good condition coins have more wear, and the details might be hard to make out. If you believe your 1999p Jefferson nickel has above average quality, consider getting it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC to determine its precise value. So, is the 1999p Jefferson nickel worth a fortune? Not necessarily, but if you have one in excellent condition, it could be worth more than its face value, and with the right collector's interest, it could become quite a valuable asset in your collection. Next up, we're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American numismatic history, the 2001 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. We'll be discussing its value, the condition that can make or break its worth, and what collectors are willing to pay for this piece of history in 2025. So grab your magnifying glass and let's explore this fascinating coin. First, let's start with some background on the Jefferson nickel. The 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson nickel, was first introduced in 1938 and was designed by Felix Schlag. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while the reverse showcases Jefferson's home, Monticello. The 2001 Jefferson nickel is part of a series that was produced from 1938 and continues to this day. However, this particular year holds a special place in numismatic history because of its design and the inclusion of the D mint mark. The D mint mark signifies that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Now, if you're wondering what makes this coin so valuable, it's all about condition and rarity. For the 2001 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, a coin in very fine condition, or VF, is quite desirable. So what does very fine mean? This grade represents a coin that has only minor wear and the design elements are still very clear. The portrait of Jefferson should be distinguishable, and Monticello should still be sharply defined, but the coin might show slight wear around the high points, such as Jefferson's cheek and hair. Now that we know what we're dealing with in terms of condition, let's talk about the value of this 2001 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. At the time of its release, the coin had a face value of just 5 cents. But fast forward to today, and the market value has increased, especially for coins that are well preserved. In 2025, if you happen to come across a 2001 Jefferson nickel in very fine condition, you could expect it to be worth around $600,000 depending on the exact details of the coin. While this might seem like a massive sum compared to rare coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, it's still a good return on investment when you consider the original face value $100,000. But hold on, what makes this coin so special in 2025? Well, there's a lot of interest in Jefferson nickels from the early 2000s because of their collectible nature, especially coins that are in excellent condition. Some rare varieties and coins with unique characteristics can be worth much more, so it's worth keeping an eye out for anything that could boost the value. For instance, if you find a 2001 Jefferson nickel with a minting error, such as a double die or an off-center strike, the value could skyrocket into the tens or even $1,100,000. These rare anomalies attract collectors who are willing to pay a premium for such unique specimens. So, how do you determine if your coin is worth more than just a couple of bucks? The key is to carefully examine the details of the coin. Look for any signs of wear, but also be sure to check for any potential errors or irregularities in the minting process. If you're unsure, take it to a professional coin grader or a reputable coin dealer who can provide you with an accurate appraisal. Before we wrap up, let's also consider the long-term value of this coin. The 2001 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark, the rarest coin in existence, but its role in American history, its connection to the Monticello home, and the ongoing interest in American coinage all contribute to its appeal to collectors. As more people begin to appreciate the history behind these coins, values could continue to rise. So, whether you're just getting started in coin collecting or you're a seasoned expert, the 2001 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark in very fine condition remains a solid piece to add to your collection. Keep an eye on its condition, watch for potential errors, and you might just have a valuable coin in your hands. Next up, we're diving into a special coin that many collectors might overlook, the 1997 Jefferson nickel featuring the Monticello design. But did you know that this coin could be worth a lot more than just 5 cents? Stay tuned as we explore its history, rarity, and market value today. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, and the Monticello design on the reverse has been a key feature since its introduction. On the obverse, we see Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, and on the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. This design has remained iconic, but today we're specifically focusing on the 1997. Released by the U.S. Mint in 1997, the Jefferson nickel with the Monticello reverse still carries all the traditional charm, but the coin's worth can differ depending on its condition and specific details. Let's start with some background. The 1997 Jefferson nickel was minted in large numbers, with over 1.2 billion coins produced that year. However, not all 1997 nickels are created equal, and the true value comes down to factors like condition, mint mark, and rarity. You'll find a D mint mark on the 1997 nickel, which indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. There's also a version with no mint mark struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but for today's purposes, we'll focus on the Denver Mint variety. The presence of the mint mark helps determine the coin's production location, but it's not necessarily a major factor in its value. Now, let's talk about coin condition. If you have a 1997 Jefferson nickel in fine condition, it means the coin shows wear but still has clearly visible details. For most circulating coins like this one, the value in fine condition can be modest, generally around $800,000. But if your 1997 Jefferson nickel is in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster, that's when things get interesting. Show a mint condition 1997 Jefferson nickel with a clear image of the Monticello building on the reverse side. If you have a well-preserved 1997 Jefferson nickel, especially one that has been graded at a high level such as MS65 or higher, you could see it fetch a much higher price. High-grade 1997 nickels can sometimes sell for as much as $100,000 on the market, depending on the auction or sale venue. But expect these coins to be all over the place. Finding an uncirculated 1997 nickel in perfect condition is rare, which is why they can command a premium. Additionally, coins that have been professionally graded by companies like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation or Professional Coin Grading Service can further drive the price up. While the 1997 Jefferson nickel is one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history, it has seen a steady market value, especially for well-preserved examples. For serious collectors, a nickel in top condition could be a great investment as the market for rare and unique coins continues to grow. Coins like the 1997 Jefferson nickel represent an opportunity for long-term growth. Even though it's not a big-ticket item like certain rare pennies or silver dollars, its value can increase as interest in coin collecting continues. Before you decide to sell or hold on to your 1997 Jefferson nickel, it's crucial to inspect its condition closely. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. Also, check the strike quality of the coin if the details are sharp. If you think your coin might be worth more, consider getting it graded by a professional service. This step is especially important if you suspect your nickel is uncirculated or in excellent condition. A proper grade can boost its market value significantly. In summary, while the 1997 Jefferson nickel with the Monticello reverse an ultra-rare coin, its value can still surprise you if you have one in mint or near-mint condition. With a bit of knowledge and a good eye for quality, you can make sure your coin collection stays valuable. Next up, we are diving deep into the world of the 2000p Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel, one of the more intriguing pieces in modern U.S. coinage. This coin may not be as widely discussed, but if you have one, especially in extra fine condition, you're looking at a potential gem in today's market. With the P mint mark indicating that it was minted in Philadelphia, this coin is part of the famous Jefferson nickel series that began in 1938. The Monticello design on the reverse, featuring Thomas Jefferson's estate, is what gives this coin its name. But there's more to this nickel than meets the eye. Let's first take a look at the coin itself. On the obverse, you'll see the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. This portrait, designed by Felix Schlag, has remained on the Jefferson nickel since its introduction, and it represents a true piece of American history. Now, moving to the reverse, we have the iconic image of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. This design has been a symbol of Jefferson's legacy and contribution to the nation, making the coin a collectible but a piece of historical significance. Now, let's talk about the 2000p mint mark specifically. The P indicates that this nickel was minted in Philadelphia. The 2000 series is relatively abundant in terms of mintage, but the quality of the coin, especially the 2000p, plays a significant role in its value. Mint marks are important because they help collectors identify the origin of the coin, and some mint marks are rarer or have more historical significance than others. While this particular coin is rare in terms of its mintage, the condition can dramatically affect its value in the market. So, what does extra fine mean in the world of coin collecting? An extra fine coin typically shows very light wear with most of the details still visible. On the Jefferson nickel, you'll notice that the features of Jefferson's face, the lettering, and Monticello's structure are still sharp, though the coin will have a bit of wear due to circulation. If your 2000p Monticello nickel is in this kind of condition, you could be looking at a value between $500,000 in today's market, depending on the demand and buyer interest. While it's a rare coin like some older nickels, its excellent condition still makes it a worthwhile find. The value of coins can fluctuate over time, and as you can see from this graph, the 2000p Jefferson nickel has held steady in its value, especially for higher-grade coins. But what's important to note is that, like most collectibles, the value can increase if the market sees higher demand. Keep in mind, certain factors like scarcity, collector interest, and the economic climate all play a role. For serious collectors, the 2000p in extra fine condition can serve as a fantastic starting point, especially when you're building a full Jefferson nickel collection. And who knows, the value could increase in the future as the coin continues to age. Now, how do you make sure your 2000p nickel is in extra fine condition? First, look for crisp, clear details in both the portrait of Jefferson and the Monticello design on the reverse. There should be very little wear on Jefferson's hair and the fine details of the architecture. However, you may notice a slight smoothing of the high points, especially around the lettering. Make sure to check for any marks or scratches, as these can reduce the value. Using proper tools like a magnifying glass or a coin loop can help you assess the details more clearly. Keep your coins stored safely in protective holders or cases to avoid further wear, as this will preserve the value. To wrap up, while the 2000p Jefferson nickel may not be the rarest coin in circulation, its historical significance and the opportunity to find one in excellent condition make it a valuable piece for collectors. If you've got one of these in your collection, it might just be worth more than you think, especially in extra fine condition. Thanks for tuning in today. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coin tips and market insights. And as always, happy collecting.